Colt Eastwood's videos play out like hit pieces, designed for the sole factor of making the Xbox One X seem like the greatest thing to ever happen. Frankly, if I were to choose a religion, now it would be Xbox One X, because apparently the Xbox One X has more power than Christ.
So help me Chinese Jesus. Holy shit.
Ever since this console's inception, Colt Eastwood has been caught saying some of the most ludicrous things you can imagine. One of his best quotes was that the RX 480 is more powerful, or it's just on par with a GTX 1080. Now, if you're playing PC games, you're sitting there and going, what the fuck are you talking about, Gundam? But really, when you think about it, it all makes sense in the long run, because it pushes a narrative. It becomes the truth. You tell a lie long enough, it becomes legend, and legend becomes lore, lore becomes myth, and mythos becomes religion. Now, saying that the RX 480 is more powerful or just on par for 1080 is because the Xbox One X, whether the fans of the Xbox and Microsoft want to believe it or not, it is running either a 480 or 580, slightly modified to have a few extra bells and whistles, not too many. And as I said to the PlayStation fans who believe rapid pack math is going to make the PlayStation 4 Pro all of a sudden wake up, don't believe the hype. Just like DX12 didn't do shit for the Xbox One. But let's get into this, shall we? I'll try not to become disgusted by what I hear.
Everyone that doubted Microsoft in the Xbox One X promises and claims are getting confirmation that the liar isn't Microsoft. Maybe it's the haters that didn't believe that Microsoft could deliver a worthy console. There are over 110 enhanced games announced to be supported on the Xbox One X. PS4 Pro has been out almost a year and has 120 enhanced titles supported. The enhancements show that the X can do much more than offer.
Honestly, I'm like, okay, cool. I don't really care about PlayStation enhancements or Xboxes. Do you know why I don't really care about the PlayStation enhancements? Because you never see a billion videos from PlayStation fans touting the enhancements of the PlayStation 4 games. I just don't know why. Maybe some of them have something better to do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that they're PlayStation zealots.
An upscaled version of games on console. Enhancements include HDR, improved frame rates and resolution, but the Xbox One X is offering something that the PS4 Pro rarely does. PC quality improvements. Gamescom gave gamers and industry insiders the opportunity to see and play the Xbox One X games on actual hardware.
That's because E3, they had the Xbox controllers hooked up to not consoles. They had the Xbox controllers hooked up to PCs. And they just had the Xbox displayed out in the open with lights on and shit. That's something a lot of these guys don't admit to. They don't even like acknowledge it. It's a lot like the American government with history. High school history books are full of misinformation and altered facts, if you will.
Connected to 4K TVs, and this means that the real truth of what Xbox One X can do has been proven. Games like Titanfall 2, under and over 4K 60. Quantum Break going from...
Now, Titanfall 2, not exactly a demanding game at all. Also, the fact that Titanfall 2 is doing 4K 60 and over leads me to believe that everything's not maxed out. You know, I don't care what the fuck you gotta say. It's not maxed out, dude. And if they do have graphics that look that way, I'm sure once you turn around, the fidelity drops like a rock to save CPU power and the whole 9 yards.
720p assets to texture-filtered 4K. Killer
Texture-filtered 4K because Quantum Break still plays like ass and there are a multitude of design flaws in that game. He's not going to show you the clip of Digital Foundry talking about how shitty, well, it's not shitty, but they do talk about how the jump for Quantum Break to the Xbox One X is nothing spectacular or even noteworthy, and it only highlights how sad of a game it was technologically. But he's not going to show you that because it doesn't push his narrative.
Killer Instinct at 4K 60 and Shadow of War at 4K 30 PC quality. Let's start by...
What's PC quality, by the way? That's another one. This is what we call the rigmarole, where this guy just basically, and other people like him, Pete Hines, but Pete Hines at least has a legitimate job. The whole PC quality graphics. What does that mean, dude? Because technically, you know, is that low, high, medium settings, ultra settings? Is it a mix of medium and low settings? Why don't you tell the truth, dude? Just tell us what the fuck it is, because you don't know. The console isn't out yet. It isn't out yet. Essentially, you are being a soothsayer. You're no better than any other charlatan on the side of the road that gives card readings to confused, bored college girls. I just want to pass my masters and I want to meet that special love that I always feel I deserve but never had, and I've been looking for it, because it's very important to me. And you're sitting there, Colt Eastwood, flipping these fucking tarot cards going, you will receive a love you've never seen before on the level of Little Mermaid quality love. Oh my god, this is beautiful news. Oh my god, I knew you were the best. All my friends said you were. Because you tell people what they want to fucking hear. Congratulations. You're pandering. But hey, I guess it gets you money. It definitely gets you subscribers. You can keep going. I know what you're in it for. You have no integrity.
Let's start by comparing Rise of the Tomb Raider on the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro.
This is going to be delicious. Because this is the bread and butter of the Xbox hardcore fanboy. Tomb Raider is like nourishment for little baby birds that can't survive on anything but propaganda and cherry picking.
Last year, this game got checkerboarded 4K, while the X receives higher resolution textures and filtering, HDR, Dolby Atmos, improved anti-aliasing, and claimed to be the highest fidelity Tomb Raider ever.
Yeah, Crystal Dynamics. Let's see. The last Tomb Raider they made was an Xbox exclusive. This Tomb Raider specifically was on the Xbox for a year first before it made it to PC and PlayStation 4, which then makes me think that maybe Crystal Dynamics is kind of got some partnership going with Microsoft. That wouldn't be, mischievous or misleading. On top of that, the beauty of this is when they released the trailer for this showing the cherry-picked photo of Laura having more fidelity and the Xbox fans blowing wads all over their computer screens, probably laptops because let's face it, they won't bother to get a PC because it's too hard and too expensive. Now here's the beauty of this. These guys continuously show you the same photo over and over and over again of the Laura face thing. What they don't show you is the fact that when you actually look at the assets from the game, nobody would give me a full link to it because then I'd tear everyone a new asset. I only found a few photos. It shows that the assets from backgrounds, texture mapping, meshes, and so on are on par with the PlayStation 4 Pro, or a little better. So essentially, they cherry-picked those photos and pushed specifically that one narrative. And instead of anyone doing any level of, research, God forbid in this day and age when you have fucking Google. I remember when I was a kid, you wanted to do research, you had to take your ass outside and walk to a fucking library. Not the little fuckbags now. Just type it in Google. And even that is too much to ask. Get wrecked, Grandpa!
This patch comes with 3 modes, native 4K 30, enriched mode with all effects turned up, and a 60 FPS mode.
Enriched modes with all effects turned up. I wonder if those effects look like the ones in these pictures here. Curiouser and curiouser.
Proof that the Xbox One X was designed to be more than just a resolution box. The PS4 Pro offered these 3 modes, but at the cost of checkerboarded 4K and very few visual enhancements. We are seeing the same improvements on Assassin's Creed Origins.
Oh god, not Assassin's Creed Origins. Oh my god, dude. Could we not talk about Assassin's Creed Origins? The gameplay looks janky as fuck. The developers change their tune every 5 seconds.
A game that has been ridiculed for not providing true 4K on the Xbox.
I'm more ridiculing the game because it looks like shit, technologically and story-wise. Well, the story seems interesting, but the gameplay looks like shit.
On the Xbox One X. Ubisoft says that Xbox One X players will experience the most beautiful version of our game.
Really, dude? That is your source? Really, dude? I bet when Sean Spicer came out and showed like the fucking wall that Trump was building that was actually a fence, you sat there and said Trump is delivering on his promises.
I know what you're thinking. PC is better. Yes, PC will be able to run the game at 60 FPS.
Get ready for him to give you a wild number.
Instead of 30. But a PC build running this game at Xbox One X level of quality at 60 FPS is no $500 PC. The X version will benefit from improved shadows, draw distances, texture quality, Dolby Atmos 3D sound, and most
Same bullshit you get on every other fucking console.
importantly, improved AI and computing for a better experience. And due to the
Really, dude? It's fucking Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft. Do you believe this shit? Come on, man. My God. Listening to what the developer says about the improved AI, oh my fuck, dude. Really. Wait till this game comes out. It's going to be another fuckfest like all the other Assassin's Creeds. And the sad thing is, this is the one they put on the shelf for 2 years because The Witcher came out and changed the game, according to them. And it seems like the game didn't change at all for them.
power of the X's CPU and memory bandwidth speed over the Pro, transitions and loading will feel natural and instantaneous.
Can't wait for this shit to come out when the goddamn game does not instantaneously... What the fuck? Does the Xbox One X now have an SSD in it? It'll be instantaneous. Listen here, dude. If it's still an HDD drive, and I'm guessing it's 720, whatever the fuck. What the fuck you call it? Shit spinning? I forgot the name of it right now. But anyway, let's face it, bitch. It's still a hard drive. He's talking like the fucking thing is quantum computing.
Xbox offers more than just resolution. It offers benefits visually and gameplay-wise that even HD TV owners can enjoy. Digital Foundry said that the Xbox One is living up to the claims of 4K. They played the X-enhanced version of Gears of War 4 and said that it had high-end textures, lighting, and assets comparable to the PC version. Months ago, I criticized PC.
Yeah, it's a first-party game. I mean, their whole existence of first party is to get every bit of performance out of that console. Also, let's take this into account, my dude. This is a first party Microsoft game. Did you ever stop and think that there is a possibility, you know, call me crazy, call me a goddamn conspiracy theorist here, but you ever think that maybe the guys at Microsoft said, make sure the PC version isn't that much better than the X1, you know, and make it seem like the X1 is able to do this with, you know, at a lower price point. Because let's face it, if Microsoft Studio put the same level of effort into the optimization of this game for PCs, I assure you it would be a night and day difference. But frankly, why would they do that? When all of their energy can go into the Xbox, make the Xbox seem just as good as the PC, make it run on lesser hardware, and make the PC version seem like it needs more demanding shit to get it to run the same fucking thing.
Months ago, I criticized PC gamers and PS4 gamers for moving the goalposts when the Xbox Scorpio is proving to meet some native 4K demands.
Originally, it was all going to be 4K. Then it got pushed back to some 4K. Then a lot of game publishers were using checkerboard rendering just like the PlayStation 4. The whole premise was that Phil Spencer and his team said that the Xbox One X was no compromises.
Res, the best frame rate, no compromises.
You get 4K gaming, true 4K resolution. We can render at 60 hertz. We can render fully uncompressed pixels. These are the highest quality pixels that anybody is seeing.
Sevilla y al último que cuando ya salió la bien de regla estamos llorando me cobró el tío la
No compromises. And all of a sudden there were compromises everywhere. So people were calling them out on not living up to their fucking word. And instead of looking at the situation and going, well, I guess they misled us a little bit here, you rather run to the defense of billionaires and fucking goddamn computer companies, which makes no sense to me. As my channel is based around keeping this shit real, you don't see me kissing the ass of any fucking major company.
These Xbox naysayers said the Xbox One X could only achieve 4K on first-party titles. And now it looks that some 60-plus third-party games are native 4K on the Xbox One X. Well,
We'll see when it hits. Once again, this is all speculation. You're taking off of what the fuck developers are telling you. This is the same shit CD Projekt Red said about the Xbox One version of The Witcher 3. That it was going to perform well, it's going to be this and that, blah, blah, blah. Then it came out and the Xbox One version was the worst. It's their job to tell you these things, to keep you excited, to keep you interested. They're not going to sit there and actually go, well, we're running into a lot of issues. It will be 4K in certain areas, but it'll downscale to 1440p in the more demanding visual areas, you know, with high fidelity here and all these particle effects. No, they're not going to tell you that. And once the console comes out, the chickens come home to roost per as usual.
It won't be 4K 60. Sorry, there are almost 30 4K 60 games supported on the Xbox One X.
Let's keep in mind that sometimes when these consoles say 60 FPS, they don't mean locked 60 FPS. You do realize that. You've been playing on consoles long enough, Colt, to know that they do this shit. Where they tell you 60 and you find out that there are drops in frames all over the place. It gets to 60, but then it drops down a little bit. Like, come on, guy. Everyone's talking about 4K, lock 60, no compromises, everything. Hell, it can't be done on high-end PCs right now. And you think a $500 homogenized closed platform system is somehow going to afford to do it on a lower scale. I mean, really, how much Kool-Aid do you gotta drink? I mean, fuck, it's like Vega. We all had high hopes. We all listened to what people had to say in the inside. And then when Vega came out and it wasn't what they said it was, we all got depressed and we moved on with our fucking lives. Whereas to the Xbox fans, I'm 100% sure, once this shit comes out and it doesn't live up to all expectations, they'll offer excuses and all this other shit. And at this point, it's like, what the fuck is the point of defending a console? Like, really? What do you get out of it? Does Xbox send you a check? Because if they don't, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I mean, we should all be banding together to sort of hold these companies responsible when they make promises and don't deliver. Fuck.
Supported on the Xbox One X. That number, it may fluctuate as games get dissected, but it can't
Nice. So then he backtracks ever so slightly.
be too far off, and it certainly crushes whatever the PS4 Pro is providing their gamers.
You know what I notice about Colt Eastwood videos? He never talks about the failures. You know, he never talks about how Xbox One just lost an exclusive game title, another one. What the fuck is this game called? Stormlands. The multi-million man raid. Oh wow, no wonder that shit went down. That seems impossible. There's a whole article here that I'll get into later, but supposedly it couldn't be done, and Xbox just pulled the plug on it, which could have almost destroyed Obsidian, which is probably one of the few good game fucking makers we have left.
Of course, Forza 7 is 4K 60, but remember that game isn't all that demanding. Oh, yeah, or is it? Then why did Digital Trends say that you'll need a GTX 1080 or Vega 64 to run the game at 4K 60 smoothly? Either that or console optimization is a real thing.
As I was editing this and going through the rigmarole of proofing and whatnot, I noticed he did talk about this Forza 7 and what the fuck is the site called? Digital Trends talking about it. Now, here's the thing. This doesn't tell you that you need this to be on par for the Xbox One X experience. So once again, Colt Eastwood took some information and glossed over all the stuff that was important to know. For you to run this game at 4K, full on ultra, 60 FPS smoothly, you will need a 1080 and some sort of i7 or something. But basically, most likely just a 1080 graphics card. You don't need an i7 or something like that. You can get away with a fucking i5. You could have a 47 motherfucking 90K. They're running cheap. You can get a 46 fucking 90K. They're running about $150 to $180 used and get this sort of level of experience with a 1080. The thing is, he does not tell you that this is for the ultra setting. This is for bar none, no excuses, no compromises, 4K experience on PC. That does not tell you that the Xbox One X is running at this level. They make no mention of the Xbox One X. They just tell you 4K 60. Because nobody has a version of this game full retail on a full retail Xbox One. Once again, this is taking information and manipulating it to push a narrative that suits what he's trying to pass off. If the Xbox One is doing 4K 60, I'm 100% sure it's not doing Ultra with everything on. So Colt Eastwood has once again douched information. Like before, I was going through this and just, nonchalantly not checking some of his facts. I only checked like 1 or 2. I figured there was no sense in checking his facts because usually Colt Eastwood does stuff like this and then I fly off the fucking handle. For God's sakes, does the gaming industry gotta get like politics where we have to have a motherfucker running around giving us fake motherfucking news and people buying into it? I mean, the fact that there are people out there who think InfoWars is a credible source of information is scary. And now, the Xbox One X community is getting like fucking InfoWars when it comes to their information on the visual fidelity of their console of choice. Like, for God's sakes, what a douche move. I literally, you son of a bitch. I sat here and said, okay, let's see what they have to say about this. Not a single mention of Xbox One. You read through the whole fucking thing, and they give you all possible ways to play this. If you wanted to sneak under the barrier for an entry level, you could do something as simple as an Ultrabook with a Core i5-200 CPU, 8GB of RAM, and onboard HD 250 graphics or better, but you would be locked to a minimum visual fidelity and 30 FPS, so low settings at 720p. For those on the low-end desktop, you could achieve similar results, Core i5-750 or an AMD FX 6300 CPU, 8GB of RAM, and a GT 740 or an R7 250X. If you want a little more kick, 1050 Ti or the 560. For those who want the best at 4K 60 FPS, Core i7 6700K, Ryzen 7 CPU, 16GB of RAM, GTX 1080 or Vega 64 graphics card. This is like a blanket sort of statement. This is all like a 6700K, not that far off a 4790K. And a 4790K ain't that far off of what, an i7 250, 2500K or some shit. Once again, there are multitudes of options for the CPU. Ryzen 7 CPUs are decent, so I would say I'd stick to a Ryzen 7. You could go Ryzen 5 actually, fuck this, because an 8350 is on par with the Ryzen 5 1400 CPU. Actually, the 1400 CPU is faster. They don't know this shit. These assholes who did this article just sort of, wham, bam, thank you, man, slapstick something together, here you go, boom, boom, boom. And then Colt Eastwood looks at it with his lack of knowledge of computer parts, and then gives his, I see. So in order for PC gamers to reach 60 FPS 40 on the same level of the Xbox One, they'll need a 1080. Ha 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 ha. Get wrecked, scrubs. My God, I'm sorry. I blew up. I apologize. I hate when people bullshit, and they don't have to. The video gaming industry and the video game information, like we are the in-betweeners, dude. People like us on YouTube who don't have any affiliation to any company, at least I don't, and you apparently can be bought and sold for a bag of fucking chips and a wink from Phil Spencer. But anyway, people like us on YouTube are a barometer of neutrality. We're not in the pockets of any journalist websites. We actually give some semblance of a fuck about gaming. Therefore, we owe it to the community and people who actually watch our videos to tell them the fucking truth. But assholes like you turn this whole fucking medium into a fuckfest of lies and degeneration, sir. You are a degenerate. When games journalists are turning into like bought and paid shills, and then guys on YouTube who aren't even being bought and paid are still being shills, where the fuck does that leave the average person? Oh God, I've never wanted a console to come out so all this dumb shit could just end.
This means that the Xbox One X can play Forza 7 at the same fidelity and quality as a $1,000 PC.
Remember when the developers for Ark Survival Evolved were saying that the Xbox One X was on par with a GTX 1070 and 16 gigabytes of RAM? But now the new narrative is this game says that you need a GTX 1080 and i7 7700K just to keep up with the Xbox One. Oh God. Talk about moving the goalposts. In the sense of every time I turn around, the Xbox just seems to get more and more powerful. Even though the hardware inside says otherwise on a normal standpoint. But then again, you sit there and go, well, this is the hardware they have. It's modified. And then the Xbox hardcore zealots sit there and tell you about how you're a liar and you're a fraud. It's kind of cute. Like these console fanboys. It's like they're learning new words. Teraflops has been one that they just recently discovered in the past 2 years. And your fraud is a new word for them. It's kind of funny. It really is. It's like, my God, your lexicon is growing by leaps and bounds. Pretty soon we're going to have a whole bunch of little Russell Brands running around defending Xboxes. No, that day won't ever come, because you have to be quite verbose for that and capable of processing more than a few words in a couple syllables.
Go ahead and price a PC with Turn 10's recommended specs with an i7-6700 and a GTX 1080. The AMD option is a couple $100 more, because this is what the standout point is for the Xbox One X. It offers so much more than just resolution for that extra $100 over the PS4 Pro. Speaking of an extra $100, a lot of the industry, media, and console and PC fanboys said that the Xbox One X will fail. I don't know how many.
So, a lot of people in the industry said this, but it's irrelevant because Colt Eastwood says so. And I'm pretty sure he'll talk about the Xbox One X selling out.
I don't know how many Xbox One X Scorpio editions Microsoft made available for pre-order, but they sold out across the entire planet in almost all retailers in just 5 days.
Okay, in this day and age, everything sells out, to be honest. I mean, can we be real with each other? Everything sells the fuck out. Those little Nintendo consoles, what is it, the little retro Nintendo, you know, the little tiny one that looks like a Super NES and shit, those things sold out. They were sold out for weeks. Mainly scalpers were buying them and reselling them. If I had the extra money, I would have bought 2 Xbox Ones and sold those bitches on fucking Fleabay, dude. But that's just me. You know, like, everything sells out. Vega, the second the Vega cards hit the market, they sold out across the globe. When the 10 series graphics cards hit the market, they sold out across the globe. Everything sells out, dude. At this point, something selling out seems like business as usual to me.
And the Nintendo Switch is sold out. You can't get a console. People are wanting, they're mad. They really want their console.
And I'm just like, oh, well, that sucks. Something else sold out. Big fucking whoop. I mean, really, you never see any other group of people celebrate something selling out like the Xbox fans. I mean, Jesus Christ. I didn't see a bunch of people supporting Vega making videos going, Vega sold out all over the world. Who gives a fuck? My God, there's like how many billions of people? Of course it's going to sell out. There aren't that many to go around. And with people like you and Next Gen 720 pre-ordering 2 of them, it's not a fucking surprise. Did you know that ICP was capable of being #1 in the charts because their fans are willing to buy 5 copies? I'm not saying that's the case of the Xbox fans, but let's just be real here. When there's enough people behind something, no matter how ridiculous it is. I mean, more recent memory. Jake Paul was #1 on iTunes for a shitty little album or music. Jake Paul! You heard that music. It was garbage. But his fan base was so radical, so livid, so rabid is the word I meant to say, rabid, that they actually went out of their way to buy Jake Paul's shit and put him #1 for a day. A man with the musical credibility of a hamster that's blind in one eye and club fucking footed. I'm just saying, when there's a will, a crazy fan base will make a way.
I pulled gamers on Twitter, and the best guess was around 500,000 Scorpios were made available.
So, you don't know how many there were, but you're all gonna bet it's 500,000. Have you ever thought that there might be a possibility that Xbox or Microsoft pulled a Nintendo on us? If you don't know, sometimes Nintendo pulls the scarcity line where they only release so many consoles at a time so that it sells out and everybody has to have one. Then it creates this sort of, it's like psychological warfare. But this is probably too deep for you because I'm a man who thinks on greater levels of things. In the sense of, I look for the underlining facts, the overall game plan, who's manipulating what and who's pulling the strings. Frankly, we're all puppets on strings. Get wrecked!
Were made available for pre-order. To put that in perspective, there are around 7,000 GameStop stores, with each one getting about 10 Scorpios allotted for pre-order. That means that GameStop alone sold 70,000 Xbox One X Scorpio editions.
Please keep in mind that this is this man guessing. He doesn't have facts, he doesn't have numbers. The Xbox One X did sell out, but Microsoft has yet to tell anyone in the fucking media how many they released. Therefore, it leaves people like this to speculate and bloat the numbers any way they see fit to make it seem like some amazing triumphant thing. At the end of the day, it is a console manufacturer making money, and they're really, really hardcore fans so hell-bent on winning. Winning what, I don't know. that they will have to tout and trout about this. I know that wasn't the right word, but for some reason I feel like rhyming today. I mean, what is the logic behind this? Ooh, my favorite console sold a lot, and I made no money today. I'm gonna make a video celebrating how well they did. Good work, Xbox, you lived up to the promises. I bet this asshole will say later in the video, Microsoft is giving the fans what they want. Meanwhile, Microsoft doesn't give a fuck what you think, because they know you'll buy into it. But point being, they know they got you in the pocket. Microsoft is more concerned with their shareholders. And as much as you want to tout how amazing Microsoft and Xbox is, it's the one division in the Microsoft lineup that loses these motherfuckers money. Phil Spencer couldn't give a fuck what you thought. If Microsoft really gave a shit, they'd probably come out with some fucking games that were exclusives that were interesting for the Xbox. I mean, as much as I hate hearing it, you know, the PlayStation fans have a point. They have the most exclusives. If I had to choose a console, which I would never want to go back to, but if I had to choose one, it'd be a PlayStation. Because they have shit I'd want to play that I can't play anywhere else. Unless, like, I'm willing to pay them $7 a month for PlayStation Now on my fucking PC, but I'm not playing some fucking game at 720p when my fucking computer could do 4K. Suck my dick. Up your game, Sony. I mean, the only thing that's coming out that I want to play immediately, but not so much considering I'm pissed off at them, is Red Dead Redemption 2 from Rockstar. That's the only thing that's interesting. Now, if I was going to pick a console to play it on for visual fidelity, yeah, it'd be the Xbox One. But if I was going to pick a console that I knew I had to stick with, it'd be the PlayStation 4 Pro. Yeah, it won't look as good as the one, but it'll probably be damn close, because let's fucking face it, I highly doubt, you know, video game makers and publishers are going to go through the extra rigmarole to make the Xbox One look a little better. What the Xbox fans are about to get into is the PC realm, where you have the more powerful hardware and developers do nothing with it. Nothing. They're going to put out their game. They'll give you the same enhancements as a PlayStation. Maybe they'll give you 3 or 4 extra pixels so you can feel special and rub your fucking nipples when Digital Foundry puts up their goddamn video. And over here, Jonathan, it appears to be 3 extra pixels. You're right. There is a little bit of extra high fidelity. And the anti-aliasing is slightly less shit. Not much less shit, but slightly less shit. This is a big win for the Xbox owners. But once again, the PC version is superior. You know, that's how it's gonna fucking go. Jesus, Gundam, racist much? Every British person is posh? Yes. But in all honesty, dude, stuff's gonna come out. It'll look marginally better, not enough. You'll sit there and go, how come they're not using more of the Xbox One's power? And then the PC guys will sit there and look at you and go, welcome to the game, bitch. Where you paid a little extra for a little more and you still don't get anything but a little less.
The PS4 Pro, according to the 1 out of every 5 sold or PS4 Pros, sold over 600,000 PS4 Pros in the first month. Xbox One X sold 500,000 in just 5 days. Xbox will never catch up to PS4, but it certainly may surpass the sales of the PS4 Pro. Also expect...
That's something to celebrate? I mean, really? Yay, the Xbox One X outsells the PlayStation 4 Pro. My favorite console is going to make a bit of money this time around, more than the other console I don't like, because I don't fucking know why you have an I don't know. I'm not even getting into this. This is psychological bullshit.
To see the adoption of Xbox One X's to be higher than 1 out of 5, but sales don't matter. Unless you believe that games are skipping Xbox because some 35 million consoles is a failed product. The Xbox One is...
I don't know what he's talking about here, failed products and shit like that. I'm guessing it must be some sort of internal warfare between hardcore Sony fans and hardcore Xbox fans. I don't even know, man. It's kind of like people like arguing over why their favorite sports star makes more money than the other guy's favorite sports star. And it's kind of like, why? Like, how much are you making, bitch? You know, to give a shit about these motherfuckers. Oh my god.
Already outpacing the 360 in year 4. The Project Scorpio edition is just another way to show that Microsoft is listening to their fans. Sure, it's just a console with green writing embossed.
Microsoft's listening to their fans. Yeah.
Here, wait the games come. Wait the games come. Nope. Doesn't say what the Tokyo Game Show. This is crazy. This is sheer lunacy. And any of you Xbox guys out there damage controllers, you need to be stoned. This is horrible. If you want your preferred platform to do better, you have to be honest. This is trash. It's an American console. Why the hell am I waiting for the Tokyo Game Show? Do you know how stupid you sound saying that? This is trash. PlayStation caters to their audience. Nintendo caters to their audience. Microsoft, AJ Empire, I don't want to hear about no damn pre-orders. And guess what? It's exclusive to PC. We don't even have any exclusives. Wake up. The game is not even coming to Xbox. Not saying that I want it, but every game that we got this holiday season is on Windows 10 and PC. Microsoft is so concerned about the damn PC gamers, you haven't even got this console shit down back yet. Shannon Lofton takes the stage yesterday and talks about, for the casual gamers, they gave Disneyland, Rush, oh my God, 4K enhanced admittance, you know what I mean? Who the hell's playing Disneyland with a 4K TV? And you guys sitting back and just stop it. It's disgusting. Stop with all the damn damage control. You sound stupid.
No compromises. Consoles coming out. Few compromises. And the fans are like, okay, Phil Spencer, it's still better than PlayStation, right? Yeah, it is. All right. Take that, PlayStation fans. It's just as good as a high-end PC. Yeah, sure. None of these people listen to their fans. That's the point I'm getting at. All right. Do you think you send in a message to NVIDIA, they give a shit? You think AMD gives a shit? Xbox, PlayStation? None of these fuckers give a fuck. The bottom line, what they give a fuck about is your money. If Microsoft gave a shit, they wouldn't have gotten rid of Scalebound. If Microsoft gave a shit, they would have somehow made Stormlands work. No, the only thing they give a shit about is selling you whatever the fuck they feel they can make a profit on immediately. That is it. Nothing more, nothing less. Stop buying into the bullshit, dude. Are you the type of guy that goes to a car dealership and thinks the car dealer is your fucking friend? Because it's essentially what we're dealing with here.
On it, but it represents the gamers that supported the idea of a better console. Microsoft built in enough power to offer us more than just pixels. I know everyone else is going to keep repeating the mantra, Xbox has no games. But look at the numbers. 1,300 games, but the large majority of games...
Dude, you repeat mantras too. What the fuck? It's like the pot calling the kettle black. Xbox has no games, and you keep running around. The Xbox is as strong as this recent developer or magazine told me. I mean, why don't you do some fucking research yourself? It's not that hard. And when it comes to fucking PC parts. I mean, really, the fact that you're willing to buy into what any developer tells you shows how little you are thinking. Their job is to sell you shit. How many times have developers promised us stuff in these recent console generations and didn't deliver? And now all of a sudden, you're gonna take every word they have to say as the gospel truth? They would stab you in the face and butt-fuck your mother and tell you they didn't do it. Would you listen to them? Probably would if they were holding an Xbox One in their fucking hand. Talk about repeating mantras. What have you been repeating for a while? Oh, try and build an Xbox console, PC specs. Up, you forgot the Blu-ray DVD player. That's another $300. And talking about mantras, motherfucker. Good God. That's like Donald Trump making fun of someone else having bad hair. It's just not done. I had enough of this. I'm done. I'm gonna have a drink.